Hey guys, it's sorry, I just got a text message. It's Naomi without Erin. She's in San Francisco right now, and I just got into LA. I'm home until like 8 p.m. It is currently 3:21 a.m. Sorry. um, I don't. Okay, let me tell you guys this quick story before I go into my quick video. But okay, so I did a Vancouver return today, which wasn't bad. 2.5 hours. Well, two hours 15 minutes going and like an hour 51 coming back, or maybe it was reversed. I'm not sure. I was in economy on an no, not on an Airbus, on a 737 first time on a 737, and it was good. It was really quick. I mean, we did one service, some waters, gave out snacks. Everybody was pretty much compliant. There was nobody being crazy. Um, but anyways, when I got back, I was trying to get onto a 9:35 flight home, and I got back at like 9:10, 9:15, something like that. So I knew I was cutting it close, but I was just trying. I was hoping that I could run there because it was only like 5 gates away. I didn't really want to take the late flight, but the gate agents decided to let that plane go early. And so I didn't even get a chance to see if I would even make it on, even though there were 80 available seats. They played me. I mean, they probably called my name, but I wasn't there. I was on my way back. So I ended up having to take a 11 o'clock flight, and that flight was booked to capacity. Of course, I listed for a jump seat and I listed for a cabin seat. Um, I ended up getting, well, okay, so the plane was delayed like, I don't know, 45 minutes due to a late inbound crew. There was a lot of weather, a lot of crazy weather going over Florida. They're expecting like a hurricane right now, so that's why they were late. Um, but it's about 45 minutes late. I get a jump seat because they say there are no more seats, and they check my bag, and so I'm like waiting. I introduce myself to the cabin. I'm like waiting for them to shut the door, and then there's a seat available, so I get to sit in that seat, which was pretty cool. Oh, Will.I.Am was on my flight, and guess where he was sitting? In economy. No shame. See, rich people, they ain't trying to do this first class thing. They just trying to get to where they're trying to go. Anyways, so I get into my seat and everything seems fine. The flight's so smooth. I mean, we land and get there about half hour after scheduled time, and usually you get in about 20 minutes. You get in about 20 minutes before scheduled time for San Francisco to LA. But we get there about a half hour after scheduled time, which isn't bad for people who are making connections. I mean, I don't know who's making connection that late, but um, there's no gate for us since we were late. And we weren't even that late, but there was no gate. And would you believe that ground control had us sitting on the tarmac for almost an hour waiting for a gate? I mean, we were just sitting there. And it wasn't a bad thing, but a kind of annoying thing was I was in my uniform, so I was a little uncomfortable. I mean, if I was in comfy clothes, I probably wouldn't have minded. I could just chill. But I was in my uniform, and so many people were asking me questions like, why aren't we at the gate? Why aren't we leaving? What's going on? This is ridiculous. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, I don't know, fam. I'm on this flight just like y'all are. I'm not working this flight. Um, I am trying to get home. It's late. I mean, by the time we got off the plane, it was probably like 11:45. I mean, 11:45. Sorry. It was 1:45 a.m. It's 3:26 right now, and we left only like a half. We left at like 11:30, so it should not take 2 hours to get to LA. Anybody who does LAX turns or has flown from San Francisco to LA know that that's about a 45 to 55-minute flight max, okay? So, anyways, my bag is checked because I was a jump seater originally, but I ended up getting a seat, so I had to go downstairs and wait for my bag to come. And it took forever, of course, because it was late and LAX has so much construction. I hate flying into LAX. Burbank is much closer to my house, but unfortunately, there are no flights going into Burbank after like 8 o'clock. I guess I probably could have like cabin jump seated on a different airline, but I wasn't even thinking about all that. I was just trying to get home, and LAX sounded good to me. So, anyways, get my bag after waiting for about 15 minutes, and I'm waiting for my Uber. Oh, not my Uber, my Lyft. Um, isn't it weird? I can't be the only one who calls a Lyft an Uber. It's just like, you know what I'm talking about. Bet I'm taking a Lyft. So I wait for my Lyft, and my Lyft pulls up to me and just looks at me, and I'm like, "Hi, are you for me?" I was gonna say his name, but I shouldn't. He's like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm ready." And he just pops the trunk. Just pops it. Okay. If you pick up anyone from an airport and you see them with bags, you should absolutely help them with their bags, especially if you want to get a tip. I mean, I was already paying for a very expensive Lyft, but I would have tipped you if you would have helped me with my bags. Instead, I had to throw my bags into your trunk, close the trunk, and then get in your car and just sit there mad because I had a Vancouver turn, and then I had to wait for a delayed flight and sit on the tarmac, listen to customers cry to me um, for an hour, and you can't even get my bag. I would say that my bag's not that heavy, but it is pretty heavy, which is why I'm a little upset because I've been shoveling around bags well, not all day, about 5 hours, but still. Anyways, he drops me off at home, and I don't even know how I got to doing this whole story, but he drops me off at home and pops the trunk again, and then by the time I get my bag, and he comes out of the car and decides to lift up my handle for me. No, fam, you're getting no tip from me, and you're not getting a good rating. Sorry. Anyways, long story short, it's 3:29 a.m. I was trying to do something because I was tired, but now I'm not tired. I mean, I probably look tired, but hold on a second. I gotta get this text in real quick. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, it's 3:29 a.m. I was trying to do something with my friends, but they're all asleep. They're all doing things that I don't want to do. I want to go out and do something. What's open right now? Just hookah. I'm not a big hookah person, but I will do it for the sake of me having something to do right now. Instead of making this video, and telling you all of my troubles of today. I'm so sorry, guys. Anyways, okay, back to what my video is supposed to be about, because it's not supposed to be a long one. I'm just trying to give you guys an update. I have been flying for about 3 weeks now. I've had 3 trips. I could have had 4, but your girl was dodging crew scheduling, and she did. So my first trip was to Hong Kong. I'm sure you guys have seen my video. It was so much fun. Service was so hard. It was a very long flight. Um, I got crew rest, but there was so many of us that we didn't get a really long crew rest. It was only about 2.5 hours. 2 hours going and 2.5 hours coming back. So that kind of sucked. Couldn't sleep. There were other people on the flight that could sleep, but I couldn't. Um, let's see, my feet hurt. They were about 4 times the size that they normally are by the time I got home. They were about 3 times, no, 2 times the size that they normally are when I got to Hong Kong. Um, but it was an overall really good experience. I feel like after that, everything else has been very easy because it's like 5 hours to Newark, that's nothing. What are you talking about? I did 14 hours to Hong Kong, and it was a full service, okay? It wasn't just drinks and snacks. It was breakfast and dinner and a mid-flight snack and drinks and picking up and, whatever the customers wanted. Sorry, guys. whatever the customers wanted, they basically got. So after that, I was on for 3 days. I think like 4 days after that, and all the trips that were left open were kind of sucky. I didn't really want them. They were like Honolulu turns. Who does that to somebody? That is such a mean flight. Like, how do you send me to Hawaii and then bring me right back? I can't just like enjoy the beach for like 2 hours. Instead, you're only giving me an hour layover, which is nothing. Um, so I was being a little bougie, and I tried to dodge crew scheduling because it was just like Honolulu turns, and then it was like Newark turns, and it was like ridiculous things like going from SFO to Newark, laying over for an hour, going from Newark to Houston, and then laying over for 2 hours and going to like Houston to Denver and then staying the night. You get like 15 hours of a layover, and then going from Denver to Tulsa, Tulsa to North Carolina, North Carolina to SFO. That was a really crazy trip, and I was really not trying to do all that. I was still pretty tired from Hong Kong. It like, I don't know how to say it, rolled over. Um, so I dodged crew scheduling for 3 days, put myself on low, and thankfully there were a lot of people on high, so there were no more trips. I just kind of fell under the radar, which is what I wanted to do. Um, so then I had a couple days off, and I went home, and then I kind of realized like I was at home doing nothing, and I was just like, why am I home? I kind of like came home because when you get based to another place, you kind of feel like you have to come home on your days off. But I don't know if it's just because like I live so close, because my flight's only like 45 minutes to an hour. Um, but I was just like, why am I here? Like, I live in San Francisco now. I mean, granted, it is so. It's not really a crash pad, but it is. It's like a private crash pad. Me and a couple girls from my class got an apartment, and we like share it. There's 8 of us, and it's basically 2 bedrooms with 1 bedroom, one den. Um, so I mean, not a lot of space, but nobody's ever there. But I live in San Francisco now, so why not just spend my time there, or why not travel? I mean, I have all these travel benefits. What am I doing? Oh, I forgot. I don't get paid that much, so gotta keep my traveling at a two, I guess. Um, but anyways, I was at home and I was just bored, and I just kind of realized like I don't need to be home. I don't need to fly on my days off. If I don't need to, if I'm not going to go like travel and do something cool, there's no reason for me to be home. It's nice to see my family. It's nice to see my mom and be in a familiar area. But I mean, that's not what got this job for. I got this job because I wanted something new. I wanted to do different things, put me outside of my comfort zone. All I'm doing here is like watching my DVR and making these videos. Um, Besides, what I get here, it's usually like on a random day, and my friends are either in class or working, or they're tired, or they're not even here. So it's kind of just like, you don't need to be here, and my car's not even here, so best piece of advice I can give to new flight attendants who are living away from their home, like based somewhere else. Go home every once in a while. There's really no need to go home every time you have some days off. I mean, unless you're staying in a crash pad that requires you to do that. And then again, how would they know that you're not supposed to be there? Like, how do they know you're not on reserve? I don't know if for the people who are on the reserve flight attendants. I mean, I don't know. It's a waste. I mean, I've talked to some of my friends who go home and they just are at home. Like, they're just sitting around. They're not doing anything. And it's like, what's the point? Like, why spend all that time in the air when you could just be at home resting and not putting your body through that? Because at the end of the day, your job, you're going up and down, up and down, up and down. And it takes a toll on your body. Like, you get tired. I've been getting headaches. And, I could hydrate myself more. But it's just like, but it's just like, why even do that? Like, just stay at your crash pad, stay at your apartment, wherever you're staying at, if you can. That's just, I mean, go travel, use your flight benefits. I don't know, whatever airline you're at. My airline lets us use our travel benefits. I know some airlines make you wait like 6 months, which is very weird. It's like, how do you, like, you can't commute if you're trying to commute. But, anyways, what was I going to say? yeah, being at home's kind of boring. Um, so after that, I came back. I came home early because being at home was boring. So I came back early and I waited for crew scheduling to call me. And they called me. I got a 3 day trip. I went from SFO to Newark. I laid over for 2 hours and I went from Newark to North Carolina. And then I laid over in North Carolina for I think 18 hours. And North Carolina is so poppin'. Um, Me and my crew, they were like 2 weeks ahead of me. We were a pretty new crew, um, new hired basically. 'Cause we just got on the line. But we went out and it was so much fun. We went out in Charlotte. We found like a cool bar. It wasn't that packed, but the music was really good. I realized that I read online that North Carolina can't have happy hours. Very weird. But, the drinks were, I guess, reasonably priced. They were like $7 for a Jack and Coke. I mean, I guess that's actually kind of expensive, but whatever. In North Carolina. We ended up walking down kind of further and found like this shopping center thing. I'm not sure, but there are so many clubs, so many people. It looked like so much fun. But by the time we got there, it was basically closed, so we didn't really get to enjoy it. But we had time. We had fun for the time that we spent there. Um, it was really pretty. It smelled very fresh. Um, and then when we got up, we went from North Carolina to Denver, laid over for 2 hours. Went from Denver to Tulsa and laid over for 17 hours. And we were supposed to go out in Tulsa, but I left my wallet on the plane. So couldn't do anything. Thank God I had my passport um, to get back in, like to get through security. But my in-flight crew, my crews, well, my not my crew, but my in-flight team, so amazing. They found my wallet and returned it to Denver because I went from Tulsa to Denver, um, and laid over in Denver for about 3 hours, and then went from Denver back to SFO. Crazy thing that happened. Our pilot refused the aircraft because of something that he thought wasn't fixed, but it actually was. So we were delayed for about 45 minutes, which isn't too bad, but we had a service dog who hadn't peed in like 11 hours, so he had to use the restroom. So they took him out onto the bridge, and he couldn't use the restroom, so they brought him back on. Then we realized our galley wasn't changed, so we had to wait for our galley to be changed. So, you know, it was a little annoying. Um, Flight attendants the flight attendants that I had on my IOE, my IOE? No, my OB. Flight attendants that I had on my OB, they told me it's always the last leg home. Always the last leg home. So, should have expected that, but the flight loads were pretty light. I mean, we were barely halfway full, so service was very easy. Everyone just kind of went to sleep. So I was pretty thankful about that. I had a lot of fun. A lot of people don't like those kind of trips, and I don't understand why. I had a lot of fun. I had a great crew. Um, it was a learning experience. I only had Hong Kong before that, so it was pretty cool. Um, and so I think I had 2, 3 days off after that. I'm not even actually sure. But no, 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 no. Okay, so we arrived at 11:34 from the my 3 day turnaround, and apparently 11:30 p.m. is considered midnight for my airline. So they technically worked me into my day off, which made me have a 1 in 7. So the next day, um, they didn't convert me. They just kind of left me alone. And then the day after they converted me, and they didn't call me, and I had myself on high because I wanted a trip. And then today, I was converted, and they called me at 5:30 this morning to tell me I had a 2:45 check-in for a Vancouver turnaround, um, and that's what everything happened. So, I mean, Vancouver was pretty easy too. Going there, we were full. Coming back, we like at 70%. It wasn't bad. Pretty easy service. I had a really great crew. They were all senior, and they gave me some really good advice. Excuse me. But you know, that's about it as far as what's been going on. just trying to stay under the radar, trying to make it through probation. I do have to do like some development things. I have to take a look at the papers because I'm not even really sure what I'm supposed to do. There is like a safety knowledge test, and it like almost scares me because nobody's tested me on my safety in 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks really. So I gotta review some things because I'm not actually sure about some of the things that be going on. I just, the first thing that comes to mind is what I'm gonna do, but I'm not sure if that's what I'm supposed to do. Um, Anyways, yeah, that's basically it. Um, Next time, hopefully, I'll have Erin in my video with me, and she can update you guys because she has had some trips. Boy, she was all over the place. She's basically flown every single time she's been on reserve. They've all been domestic, but she did get her first international trip. She went to Frankfurt. She said that was a very hard trip because they were delayed, and instead of her layover being 26 hours, it ended up being like 23 hours, 22 hours. So she like slept and went out for a little bit, but she didn't get much time to do much. So, anyways, it's 3:42 a.m. I guess I should take off this 11 a.m., 12 p.m. makeup and go to sleep. Get in the shower, go to sleep. Sorry if I look really crazy. I just was really bored and I had nothing to do, and I said, maybe I should just take care of this really quickly. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Post them below. I would very much like if you guys shared my page, liked and subscribed. I'm trying my best to do a video like every week, at the latest every 2 weeks. If you want to see really what's going on, I update my Snapchat every time, every day. Every time I'm flying, I'm on Snapchat, so you guys can see what's going on. My Snapchat is at N as in Nancy, AEC as in cat, HIS as in Sam, M as in Mary. So it's at Nachism. Don't be surprised if once you add me it says Bay, because you know who Bay is. It's me. Okay, I'm tired and I'm getting delirious. But follow me on Snapchat. You can follow me on Instagram at Baychism. I don't really update my Instagram that much, but if I ever see anything cool, I will, post on there. If you want to see my day-to-day, Snapchat is the best because I'm really updating that thing a little bit too much, actually. But again, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. I will try to capture it on camera. I'll try to speak about it on here. And yeah, safe travels to everyone. If you are about to go to training, good luck. Study, study, study. If you're about to go on an interview, wear a watch and wear a smile. And if you're about to go to sleep, good night.